Alrighty, beautiful and strong people, welcome back to the Squat Mastery, Lesson 10, Troubleshooting and Fixes. This is going to be the last lesson of the Squat Mastery. We're pretty much putting everything together. You learned the foundations, you learned from the alignment to the foot root, to the brace, to the lat tension. Everything comes together now, and we're pretty much topping it off with how to troubleshoot and fix technique degradations. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys have learned a lot through this process. I hope you guys have been able to actually apply what you've actually learned and watched in your training. Again, take it slow, step by step. If you need to rewatch a certain lesson, do it. Just make sure that you're not rushing through the process. In this lesson, we're going to take pretty much the general breakdowns that you might actually find into the squat and a few ways in which you can actually fix that kind of degradation. Okay, every problem has a solution if you know where to actually look, and now you are better equipped because you know exactly where to look through the common folds. We've broken down pretty much every possible breakdown for the squat, and now it's time to actually find a fix for every one of those. Okay, so the way we're going to go about it, the fix framework, is going to be by, first of all, identifying the breakdown, okay, where it starts, especially if it's consistent. Does it happen around the upper back? Does it happen around the lower body? Does it happen around the brace? We're going to apply the right drill, variation, or accessory. We're going to reinforce it through repetition. So we're going to program that into our training program. We're going to do our best to remain consistent with it and progress that variation, accessory, or drill. Okay? Practice breeds perfection. And of course, retest with the video. So your video feedback is pretty much the best feedback you can actually get. Okay? Especially if you're training alone. And even if you're training with someone online, you're going to need that video because you need to actually send that feedback. Or if you want to work with me to actually help you and guide you through your powerlifting journey, you're going to need the tripod. You're going to need to actually record yourself so you know exactly, you can actually send it to me so I can actually show you exactly where the breakdown is and how the opportunities of improvement are actually being presented. Okay, so without further ado, let's start with the upper back rounding. This is probably one of the most common one, and in all honesty, it kind of happens quite frequently. So usually it happens because of weak lats, loose cap control, again, excluding the focus stuff. Okay, so we've already discussed about where the focus should be, but if you're having this kind of problem at certain loads and it's consistent, it kind of tells us that it might not be a focus issue. It's more so, let's say, a muscular issue in there. Okay, so you might actually have weak lats, loose cap control, or even, let's say, slacking abs that just don't really do their job when it comes to bracing. So as fixes, great tools to do that. The safety bar squats, the front squats, which I need to actually move my face around for a moment, and the barbell rows and face pulls. Okay, these build upper back strength. These are also engaging your core, especially the SSB, especially the front squat. It's to be more specific to the squat, but it's also going to demand your core and your bracing while doing the barbell rows. Okay, so these are going to help tremendously to bring that upper back strength to actually resist against the rounding. Pretty much resist against the barbell that's trying to crush you. Another fault, knee cave. So why it happens? It might be weak hips and foot collapse. Okay, so if your hips are weak, you're not really going to be able to actually keep that abduction outside. So your knees might actually end up caving inward. Pause squats are absolutely fantastic for this particular reason because it really teaches the foot root. It really brings a lot of strength at the bottom, and it really helps you to actually bring that strength up. Okay, so cues such as spread the floor, knees to pinky toe might actually be helpful, and glute accessories, clamshells, abduction, pretty much anything that can actually help to train that abduction is going to be absolutely fantastic for this particular issue. Hips rising first, or just the stripper squat. Why it happens? Brace lost, quads weak. Okay, if your quads can't really fire you through the hole, your back and hips need to actually, take the load. So all the weight will actually be dumped on them to actually save you from not, dying. So as fixes, tempo squats are absolutely fantastic for it because it really teaches the synchronicity between your hips and your quads, but it also provides you with a lot more time under tension on your quads, so it actually builds your quads up. High bar squats, because you're shifting the center of mass and you're having a little bit more knee travel in forward, so those are great. And of course the pole squats, another great variation to help with that, and with the timing of making sure that you can actually drive through the hole properly. Or if you're losing tension or you're losing brace, it may potentially happen because you're trying to breathe vertically, or just you're exhaling mid-rep. The fixes are pretty much the drills that I actually showed you. Okay, so the beltless squat, bracing drills such as dead bug, ab rollouts, kettlebell brace. Pause squats are also great tools because it really reinforces the brace. So having those will help you with maintaining the brace and the tension during the setup and during pretty much the execution of it. Dancing feet or shifting. Why it happens? Well, poor routing and unstable stance. So how do we fix it? Well, there are a couple of ways. Walkout drills, the 3-step ritual, and just continuously trying to master it is one of the fixes that can actually help with that, because it always teaches you to make sure that you're rooting your feet hard. Barefoot squats to feel the tripod and really connect with the tripod, or rooting drills with band around the feet or ankles. And these are just a couple of examples. Using a band around your feet, opening up, or even doing squats with it, because the band is kind of trying to pull you inward. Your body has to actually resist it, and you're going to have a little bit more, let's say, small toe pressure in there and big toe pressure. So all these are really excellent drills to try and make the rooting feel a little bit better, and even connect you with the root itself. So as an arsenal, just general fixes. The pause squats are going to reinforce the bottom position. The tempo squats are going to teach control during the descent. The beltless squats are going to build true brace. So it's a good idea to actually have some beltless squats in there. Safety bar and front squats are for the upper back strength, and the walkout practice for the rooting and holding tension. As a fixed chart, if your upper back is rounding, look for SSBs, front squats, and rows. If your knee is caving, pause squats, glute work, or root drills. If your hip is rising, tempo squats, pause, or high bar. If you're losing the brace, beltless, dead bugs, ab rollouts. And if you like to dance your feet, barefoot and root drills, and 3-step walkout. So in summary, and pretty much ending the squat module, every fault is a signal, not necessarily a failure. So don't take it as a failure. Diagnose, drill, reinforce, and retest. The more you can actually go through this sequence, the more solid your squat will be. Weak points are going to show up consistently, no matter how strong you are. There is no particular athlete that is absolutely perfect and just has everything sorted out in their squat, bench, or deadlift. The stronger you get, the more you're actually exposing some other weak links, because we can't really focus in training on everything. Okay? If our quads get stronger, our hips might actually get a little bit weaker. If we're training a lot, for example, our abduction, maybe our adduction is going to be weaker. So, if we can handle more loads with our quads, but we're not addressing the back, we might actually expose our back to some weakness in there. So it's always, during this sport, during powerlifting, there should be some troubleshooting involved. And it's okay, because you have the direction. Whenever you're in a situation in which you're stuck, your weak links are your direction. Your weak links are actually helping you to become stronger, because addressing those is going to make you stronger. So the best ones, poses, tempos, use the accessories as tools. Mastery comes through learning to self-correct. I hope you guys enjoyed this course. We're going to meet on the bench one. So catch you later.